at this that you got to remember the NBA is 2 seasons. It's the regular season, and for teams that have already won titles and veteran teams, they just pick their spots in the regular season. They don't give you the same effort. Then there's teams like Toronto and Philadelphia. They're really trying to get good seeding. They haven't won titles yet, so they're going to bust their arse every day in the regular season. Now, in the playoffs, the veterans, the team, now it's not about rest. Now it's about winning. But don't take too much of a 19-game winning streak. I mean, Portland's unbeatable now. They'll be beatable in the playoffs. Utah's unbeatable now. They'll be beatable in the playoffs. When Philadelphia gets to the playoffs, their last 10 games, they're 7-0 against non-playoff teams, 0-3 against playoff teams. In the playoffs, you're playing only playoff teams. So, a lot of those wins this year are Charlotte. They're not going to play Charlotte in the playoffs. So you got to take everything for what it's worth. And there are not only in the NBA regular season do you get uneven urgency, but there's also certain coaches who have a history of being regular season coaches and postseason coaches, because certain things matter in the postseason that don't matter as much in the regular season and vice versa. And I'll give you an example. Everybody's in this world now where, oh, my God, Mike D'Antoni in Houston, they're going to beat Golden State. No, they're not. Golden State's going to beat them, and they're going to beat them probably in 4 or 5 games. They probably won't sweep them because Houston has enough offensive firepower at home. They're a tough matchup. Steph Curry's got his ankle injury. They've been kind of beat up. But don't kid yourself. Last year, Golden State, similarly to this year, wasn't very good in March. Slow down. I can't believe people aren't mentioning the similarities of Mike D'Antoni teams, Phoenix back in 2004, 2008, and the Rockets. It's the same team overwhelmingly. Look at the similarities between those Phoenix teams and these Rockets teams. They're number 1 seeds. They have an MVP point guard. They have one noteworthy big, Clint Capella, Amari Stoudemire. They have another noteworthy star. He's a shooting guard, Joe Johnson and Chris Paul. They're going up against the dynasty. Okay, D'Antoni went up against Popovich and Duncan and could never beat him. And the Rockets are going up against Steph, KD, and the Warriors. They're both around high 50s, low 60 win total. And in both instances, Suns got to the Western Conference Finals, could never beat Pop, and I don't think this team will ever beat Kerr and the Warriors. It's the same offense. It's the same team. It's the same MVP. It's the same guard. It's the same other guard. It's the same singular big. Sports constantly gives us former examples of what we're currently seeing. Listen, Mike D'Antoni has a system. I call him the Chip Kelly of the NBA, where he takes a point guard / quarterback. The system makes them profoundly productive and efficient, much more than the rest of their career. I mean, when D'Antoni was in Los Angeles, he took a G League player and he averaged 9 assists per game. Chris Duhon had his best year. Jeremy Lin had his best month. Steve Nash had his best 2 years. Harden's having his best years. I'm not saying Nash and Harden aren't all-time guys. But I'm saying is we have context here. We have a precedent. We have history. D'Antoni's system, get shots, about possessions, more. First 9 seconds, first 10, shoot, get the ball back. And in both instances, they faced the Popovich, Duncan, Tony Parker, whatever it was, Manu dynasty. And in this instance, you've got the Steph and the KD and the Kerr and the Clay and the Draymond dynasty. And in both instances, the dynasty had it working first. And then you come in and the media is like, oh, my God. And in both instances, the Rockets and the Suns were so much darn fun to watch, they're contagious. It's addictive. You can't turn Houston off. You couldn't turn the Suns off. But I'm telling you, it's the same team, and I see it. I like D'Antoni. I like Daryl Morey. I like Harden. I like Clint Capella. I like Chris Paul. They're not beating Golden State. Now, people say, this Houston team plays real defense. Oh, slow down. They don't play that great a defense. James Harden's not stopping anybody in the playoffs. Chris Paul's good. Probably not as good as he was about 3 years ago defensively. Looks like the same thing to me. Looks like the same thing. Christine with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Sam Darnold had dinner with the Browns on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And the Browns did watch Darnold during the pro day on Wednesday as well. I think his parents actually showed up as well.
I saw that.
So now Sam Darnold is saying that it would be awesome to go to the Browns.
Oh.
I just want to go wherever I'm wanted. So whoever wants to pick me up, I'll be happy to play there. But yeah, I feel like I'm definitely, capable of going number one, and I feel like, what the Browns are doing right now is really good. They got a lot of good pieces right now, and so I think going there and being able to lead the way I lead and play the way I play, I think it'll be a good situation.
Is this good for Sam Darnold to go to the Browns?
I mean, he's not a nightlife guy. I think Cleveland's great. He's really got kind of a Midwestern ethos. It's funny about USC. So, you had, Matt Leinart and Mark Sanchez were kind of these kind of golden boys, and the hair, and Carson Palmer. Sam Darnold is very much like suburb, regular kid, salt of the earth. That's nothing against Leinart. It's nothing against Sanchez. Nothing against Carson Palmer. They were your prototypical SC quarterback.
Okay.
Kind of the tall, the look. Sam's not a good-looking kid. Sam is very much kind of one of the linemen.
Interesting.
He's not like this USC. He is literally small apartment. He still, I think, rooms with Cam Smith, the linebacker. He rooms with a linebacker.
So you think that he would do well
Yeah,
in Cleveland,
Cleveland's
the city,
a tough
but what
city.
about the team?
Well, the team will be better with him. Yeah.
Okay.
Then he'll make them not going to do it in a year, but Cleveland has found their decade-long quarterback. Good for them.
Well, just in case, the Browns are also working out with Baker Mayfield today. They worked out Josh Rosen on Tuesday, and they will go to Josh Allen's pro day in Wyoming tomorrow. Why are you rolling your eyes?
If they choose him, then everything I just said
About
doesn't
Cleveland
count.
being awesome? Out the window?
It'd be so embarrassing.
You're really not growing on Baker Mayfield at all. You've been told by a few people now that you should change your tune.
He's going to go in the top 10, so he's going to make a lot of money, and he's a two-time walk-on, and it's a great story, but his hands are small. He's not a dynamic athlete. He's a two-time walk-on, and he plays in a system where quarterbacks for Lincoln Riley get a lot of yards.
Do you want to make some sort of a bet about Baker Mayfield with the jersey involved?
No, I'm done betting.
Are you sure?
I'm out of the betting thing. I lost a Sixers bet. I'm done betting.
Hey, at least you didn't have to get a tattoo this time. That's
I got to
permanent.
tell you a story last hour about betting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good story.
All right.
Yeah.
Does it also involve a tattoo?
It involves an actor.
Oh. And finally, the Penn State football program said that there was someone from WWE there to scout potential wrestlers at Pro Day. This isn't the craziest thing because, The Rock used to play for the University of Miami. He was a backup lineman, and then he went to the WWE. So if they're looking for big, strong men who might need a job because they're not drafted, why not go to Pro Day?
Have you ever noticed that the WWE guys who become stars, John Cena, Rock, you ever notice they kind of have the face? I was told this
What
by
face?
good-looking guys. They got the
You have to have a good face.
Rock is perfect skin,
Handsome.
beautiful. He's like John Cena looks like a blue jeans model. Have you ever noticed this? This is what they do? Hulk Hogan at the time had this dramatic hair. They're not only looking for a big guy, they're looking for the face.
An attractive
It's a television show.
Okay.
So what they're looking for is they go to these football camps, and they're finding the guy who's not an NFL player,
Right.
who's a big lineman, and they're like, the face.
So they're going around to the other scouts and saying, who do you not want? And then we want them as long as they have
But
a good face.
the history is they find the right guys when they find the, little GQ, got the body, that's what they do.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That's news.
Christine with the news.
Well, that's the news.
Thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Live.